Welcome to East Alabama Today, featuring topics, events, and interesting people from all over East Alabama. Hosted by Carl Brady. Now, let's get right to the show. Here's Carl Brady.
Hello and welcome into East Alabama Today. I'm Carl Brady. Thanks for joining us here on TV 24. And as always, we'll get you started off with some contact information for the show so that you know how to get in touch with us. If you have an idea for our program, we're always looking for ideas and for the things that are going on throughout the East Alabama community. You guys are our eyes and ears out on the streets. You know, we cover the 9 counties of East Alabama, and you are the folks who are out there every day knowing what's going on in your community and in your neighborhood. So let me know by sending me an email, cbrady@tv24.tv. You may find yourself invited to be a guest on the program or some other way promoting your event that's happening in your neck of the woods. So again, send me those emails, cbrady@tv24.tv. Now we're also looking for the interesting people who live in your community. Maybe you know someone who's a writer, an artist, or a musician. Maybe they have an odd or interesting hobby and you think they'd be a great guest for the show. That's exactly who we are looking for. So send me their information via email as well, cbrady@tv24.tv. And if you happen to miss an episode of the show, or if you'd like to go back and see an episode again to review some information that you saw, you can do that online at tv24.tv. Go to our website, click on the on-demand section, and look for East Alabama Today, and there's a whole series of East Alabama Today shows you can watch at your convenience whenever you want to call it up on your computer and watch it right there at your desk or on your laptop, wherever you happen to be. Coming up today, we're going to be talking about the YMCA of Calhoun County, so stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. We welcome you back into East Alabama Today. I'm Carl Brady. Thanks for being with us on the program. Today we're going to be talking about the YMCA of Calhoun County. And we have with us the new director of the YMCA, Shane Ruffin. Shane, welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
And welcome to Calhoun County. We'll get into that a little bit more as we go. And then we have Maggie Byrne Owens as well. Maggie.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome into the show. Nice to meet you guys. And what we're doing, as we've told you, over the next few weeks, we're going to be featuring nonprofits from East Alabama that have been through the Standards for Excellence program with Community Foundation of Northeast Alabama. Now, this is a program that the boards and the staff of these organizations went through so that you, as a donor, as a member of the community, can be confident of what's happening with your donor money, what's happening when you participate with these organizations. You can be confident in these organizations. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the program. But first off, Shane, welcome to East Alabama. I understand you just coming into the Calhoun County YMCA back in December.
Yes, sir. The 1st of December. So 6 weeks or so I've been here now.
Yeah. So just starting to get your feet wet, so to speak.
That's it.
But you have a history with the YMCA, though.
I do. I've had a blessed career. I've been with the Y. It's been my only real job since graduating the University of Tennessee about 15 years ago. So I've been all over the country with the Y, in Los Angeles and Dallas, Nashville, Cincinnati, South Georgia, and now here in Anniston. So
have to be careful about telling people University of Tennessee you're out here.
Go Big Orange. Go Big Orange.
Well, what drew you to the YMCA in Calhoun County when you know the process of finding a new director, or what drew you here?
The opportunity, I think, it's unique in that the Y is poised for growth, not just in Anniston, but also in Oxford. So there's some opportunity there for some new facility development, perhaps, and to expand our programs that we're currently doing, and to add new and exciting things. And this is my first CEO role. I've been an executive director for a number of years, but this is my first CEO role. So that was also an allure. And then being from near the Nashville area, it's pretty close to home. I can still get there pretty easily, and excellent cost of living, and get good people from what I can tell so far. So it's an exciting opportunity.
It's a great community to be a part of in Calhoun County and East Alabama as a whole. What have you learned so far that intrigues you about serving the community through the YMCA here locally?
This is such a philanthropic community. There's a lot of contributed support, not only at the Y, but in the other like organizations around the community. It's impressive how much people give back. I've noticed that very early on.
Talk about YMCA programs, and Maggie, jump in here at any point. You know, a lot of people are familiar with YMCA as a place to go work out after work, a gym, fitness center type facility, but there's so much more to a YMCA with children's programs, camp programs, all those kind of things. Just start us off with some of the special things you wanted to talk about today.
Well, we have after-school program, and that's a huge program for us, and we serve 9 sites in Calhoun County. We serve 5 Calhoun County schools, 1 private school, and then 3 of the Anniston City schools. And we would love to serve more schools. That's one of our goals, is to eventually get into some more schools. But we do so much within our program. We're there from school dismissal till 6 p.m. So we enable parents to continue to work and know that their child is in a safe place where they're having snack, we're doing homework, and we're also doing just having fun, doing fitness programs, playing games, and also sports and all these programs.
Youth development is one of the 3 areas of focus that the YMCA focuses on. And in Calhoun County, we've got upwards of 400 kids a day in our after-school program.
Oh, wow.
It's a big program. And the Y literally invented after-school care in the 70s when the women went back to the workforce. And it developed out of a need for a place for kids to be after school. And we've continued that legacy on until today. And we are the nation's #1 provider of after-school care. So we're real proud to have those 400 kids a day in our care, but there's always room for more.
Always room for more.
Always.
How does that work? Is that an expensive proposition for the parents? How does that work out for, as opposed to traditional daycare type options?
It's not very expensive. We we have fees, and they pay weekly fees, and then they could also pay by the daily rate. It's if they need that, just a drop-in type service, but most parents need it for the week. And we also have financial assistance for parents as well. If they need some kind of assistance, they can apply for that based on that need. So it's very affordable, very affordable.
Absolutely. With health is always a big focus. As well, and building healthy lifestyles for children and adults and everybody. So there are tons of opportunities for that with the Y.
Absolutely. In fact, last night we launched our pilot program, diabetes prevention program, at the downtown Y in Anniston, and we've got 10 people in the first cohort of it, and it's free to them. They get a free 12-week membership. They're often referred by their doctor for people who are pre-diabetic. The Y's in the prevention business, not the curing business. So if we can get out in front of it and help these 10 people in this first segment live a healthier lifestyle, prevent them from getting on insulin, and keep them from getting diabetes. We can get one person to keep from getting the disease. That's a victory for us. So it's sponsored by local doctors. It's led by a volunteer instructor who's very knowledgeable in the diabetes prevention realm. So we're excited about that as one of our new health programs. But you're right, there are a lot of issues out there that we can combat.
Well, give me some details on that program. Since it's new, the community hasn't heard much about it yet. Take me through it in some of the details on that.
I'm auditing it, in fact. So I went in last night for the first meeting, and last night we had a baseline, and it was good. So everybody got measured, weighed, what are all your measurements and that type of thing, and then what is your culinary kryptonite? What is so everybody had to profess what their thing is in terms of salty, crunchy chips or whatever. Right. And we've got a really dynamic group. It's really diverse, men, women, young, old, African American, Caucasian. So it's a good mix of people, and to hear everybody's story and where they're at in their journey was pretty neat. So that's kind of step one, was to get to meet everybody and start tracking our food intake and our exercise. So everybody's encouraged to do at least 3 times a week, minimum of 30 minutes, and then start counting their calories. So after this first week of keeping up with all that, then we'll all sit back and have a real serious talk about who did what and who didn't do what, and encourage one another and that kind of thing. So it was neat. There's one guy in particular in the program who has both of his knees blown out, and he's a heavier guy. So obviously he's going to get the pool. So we were talking to him about the pool schedule. So it's going to be fun to watch them through their journey, and we'll encourage them along the way and have contact points, which we're calling in the middle of the week saying, hey, we hadn't seen you in here, Carl. Where you been? Kind of thing.
Right.
So it's going to be a good program.
What are some of the other options, especially maybe for kids, healthy lifestyles for kids?
Well, swim lessons, swim teams, swim lessons. We've got that going on for the kids. We've got youth sports program. We're about to kick off not this weekend, next weekend, the 31st, we'll start a indoor soccer program.
Oh, okay.
So you can come in, and of course it's indoors, and just running up and down the gym and learning skills. We teach that as well. So there's all those type opportunities now. And at the Oxford Y, kids 8 years old and up, we can train on we've got some equipment that's for the smaller size, like myself. I'm not a large, as I call myself, I'm vertically challenged. So I cannot get on some of the equipment that the adults get on because I'm too small, but we have a butterfly equipment that we can put children on, and we have instructors that can train and get kids involved in that.
I'm glad you asked that question because it's important on a couple levels. We are currently raising the heaviest generation of children that we've ever had, whose life expectancy is less than mine and yours or that of their parents. So we've got to get them up and moving. So the staff and I had a staff retreat yesterday, and we used retreat reluctantly because we're advancing the Y, not retreating from the work. But we spent time talking about what can we do to engage youth in more physical activity, particularly ones that we've already got in our after-school programs. Now, they're getting some play, but it's not structured. So what can we do with that captive audience to get them in some sports leagues, and then and past that, reaching out to the community at large to get more kids involved and active and up off the couch and out from behind the video games and get them in the Y. So we're looking to talk to some parents and community leaders to determine what those programs are. What are the best things to meet the needs of parents? What do parents want us to provide for them? So that's something we'll be working on in terms of our strategy and planning over the next few months.
Do you guys, a lot of YMCAs traditionally over the years have sponsored basketball leagues or baseball leagues or softball, those kind of things. Do you have, you mentioned a swim team, do you have other sports teams or leagues active right now?
Not right. We're registering now for soccer, as Maggie mentioned, and we'll also be doing basketball in a couple more months. So we do have some small sports leagues. Lots of competition in Calhoun County, which is a good thing. That means
there's a lot of things to do.
Which is a good thing. So we're trying to find our niche to figure out where we can fit in. So we're thinking it's going to be on the developmental end. Let's get the 3 to 5 year old kids going. Teach them what a ball is. Teach them to share the ball. 3-year-olds don't understand share. It's my ball. Right. Well, we want to teach them the team aspect of playing and that sort of thing.
A lot of high school basketball players don't understand that either. They're going to keep the ball and shoot every time.
A lot of NBA guys, Kobe Bryant, never shares the ball. So that's kind of one of our strategies, I think, is to get them involved as young as possible and see if they like the sport before they go. Parents have to go out and spend tons of money and time to see if they like the sport. We can get them at a developmental level and plant that seed for future sports.
Okay. We need to take a commercial break, so we'll do that right now. We'll be back and continue our talk with YMCA of Calhoun County when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back into East Alabama. Today we're talking about the YMCA of Calhoun County. They're one of the nonprofits in East Alabama that recently went through the Standards for Excellence program with the Community Foundation of Northeast Alabama. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Continuing just talking about YMCA programs and YMCA in general. Now what people will notice is that you guys have 2 locations. You have one in Anniston and you have one in Oxford as well. Now what's the difference there? If I'm a member of one, am I a member of both? How does that work, and what are the different amenities in the different locations?
When you join one, you in fact join both. So you can use them interchangeably as much as you'd like to and as often as possible. And we also have a reciprocity with the YMCA of Coosa Valley here in Gadsden. So we all 3 share membership together. So you're joining both those facilities. The downtown Anniston facility has been there for 60 plus years, indoor pool, basketball court, walking track, all the amenities you'd expect. And then our Oxford location is more of an express Y, but great new equipment, fitness studios, a lot of new cutting edge group fitness programs. And then we're busting at the seams there. We need to do something in the mid to near future in terms of expansion or finding a new building or building something. We don't know which direction that's going to be yet, but we know we're poised for growth there, and that's exciting.
Well, that leads us into talking about annual campaigns and fundraising and things like that. You're busting at the seams, so you need some money to make these advances happen. Talk about your campaign and how people can help out.
This year, we're going to raise $195,000 to support our community and people that want to join the YMCA or get involved in programs who can't afford it. We pride ourselves in turning no one away for their inability to pay full price. The only way you can't join the Y is if you don't want to. We're going to make it financially possible for you however we can. To do that, we go out and raise $195,000 a year, and that is driven by volunteers. Selena Lee is our campaign chair, along with Becky Cox, who's the co-chair of the campaign this year, and we will involve more than 100 volunteers in going out and making direct asks to people to solicit funds to give to the Y. All tax deductible. The overhead, we pride ourselves also on our overhead. It's almost non-existent. It's a few bottles of water and some snacks for some meetings when we train volunteers.
Right.
So there is all of your money is going to YMCA programs and staying right in Calhoun County. So our membership subsidy rate's about 40%. So 40% of people that come in our doors need some type of assistance to join the YMCA, and we're proud to be there for them. The subsidy applies to swim lessons, after school, youth sports. Almost everything we do is subject to some kind of financial assistance. So again, nobody's ever turned away for inability to pay. And that's a big number. That's almost 20% of our operating revenue that comes from contributed support. So we're really proud of that. And that again speaks to the philanthropic community in Calhoun County.
Absolutely. No, we started off earlier in the program saying that a lot of people think of the YMCA as a place to go work out, the fitness center, gym, that kind of thing. But there's so much more because of all the programs. But we don't want to push that part aside, because a huge part of your membership does utilize the fitness facilities at your Y. So talk about that. And if I want to just be a Y member and come work out after work every day, how does that work?
We have a lot of those folks who that's all they want to do. They don't want to get involved past that, and we're glad they choose us. And we've got a pretty strong after work crowd at both facilities. We just spent $100,000 last year on new fitness equipment, all state of the art, all brand new. We've got staff that can show you how to use it if you're unsure. It's all pretty self-explanatory. There are pictures and diagrams on most of the equipment, but it can be intimidating when you walk in that room full of stuff. So we just upgraded everything in both facilities. So we'd love for people to come out and check it out and see what we've got to offer.
What kind of challenges is the Y facing right now? Nonprofits, since the recession began back in 2008 or so, nonprofits throughout East Alabama have struggled, and some more than others. But what kind of challenges do you guys face right now that people need to know about?
I think membership revenues are a challenge for us. It is coming back. We are seeing some positive trends in terms of people rejoining the Y. We do see a rush in January when the New Year's resolutions come in.
Exactly.
We love resolutionists, so we want to keep them throughout the course of the year, and that's our goal. We don't want you to come in January and leave in March. We want you to come in January, find a home, make some friends, and start to meet your fitness goals. But driving membership and increasing membership is what's really going to help us push the Y forward. And the more we're able to do that, the more we're able to expand our programming in the community. So getting back to the pre-2008 era in terms of membership units and revenues is our biggest challenge right now. Again, there is positive news in that direction. So,
what other kinds of things? And this just popped in my mind because it's been popular with the Y here in Gadsden, of just open gym, free play time to come in. And here at the Y in Gadsden, there are groups of guys who get together during their lunch break and they play basketball for their exercise. Are there just open gym times like that where people can just come and enjoy relaxing with their favorite sport?
Absolutely. Almost all day long, with the exception of a few fitness classes in the morning. We have some silver sneakers classes in the morning, which is geared towards active older adults. So they occupy the gym, and this morning we had about 25 in the class, which is a pretty big turnout. So they're staying active well on into their twilight years. But to get back to the question, the gym is open all day after that, so noon, after work. We don't have a lot of guys that play pickup ball right now. We have a large population of swimmers, particularly in the morning when the Y first opens. So there's a big group of guys that get together and swim competitively against each other and against the clock in that regard. But we'd love to find a way to get some pickup ball going at lunchtime, because you're right, it's great exercise. It's you can do it on your lunch hour, and so that's, and the Y invented basketball.
To me, it's much more interesting than walking on a treadmill while staring at a wall too.
Well, you put your finger on something important. Everybody's got to find something they like to do,
right,
to be able to succeed. So some people want to play ball, some want to swim, some want to work out. The treadmill can be absolutely boring. So so you're right. Some guys do want to come in and play basketball. So we'll look at ways to increase that that, maybe have a lunchtime league or something like that.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, let's transition now to talk about the Standards for Excellence program. Some of this predates both of you coming into the YMCA, but it's an important aspect for a nonprofit to have gone through the process of getting that Standards for Excellence certification, because it helps the people in the community know that they're dealing with a reputable organization that knows how to take care of their money, and they know where the money's going. It provides a lot of confidence for the community. Talk about how the Standards for Excellence program has benefited you guys at the Y.
With the Standards for Excellence, of course, we started this about 2 years ago, and we appreciate the Community Foundation and the United Way getting us involved in this. And they got our board involved, and our past CEO that was at the Y, he got us involved in this and then brought me into it with this down the road. But it's, as far as our board, our policy, looking at all our policies that we had in place, we looked at it and thought, okay, well, we need to update some of the stuff that we're doing. So it was very interesting for me, who's never been involved in any policy making decisions, to be involved in that, as well as with our board of directors.
We had all the policies and things in place, and we think, okay, they're pretty good. And as a result of going through the process, well, this one should be strengthened, and we need to take a closer look at this one. In fact, we voted on a new one today in terms of internal controls and cash handling, because like you said, you want people to know that their donated dollars are going to a place that's going to be good stewards of them, and that's what we've accomplished through this process. And Maggie and I were talking earlier today about how much stronger the nonprofit community has gotten, particularly the 8 that have gone through this process together. Yeah. So now we're able to collaborate more. We know what each other does more, so we're able to work together and try to meet community needs on a much bigger scale. So when you go together for grant opportunities and that kind of thing, you can say, hey, we can work with XYZ nonprofit as a result of this to make our community at large stronger. So it's been a good process for our board, for our policies, and for the overall Y in general, and the other 7 entities involved.
Absolutely. And have you seen the difference with staff members, board becoming more involved because they're learning to be better board members through this process?
Yeah, I think so. Our board has participated in more things as far as with the policy, the policies. Also with the fundraising, they're all getting more involved in that and know a little bit more, because we all were educated in this process. I mean, we spent countless hours working on this, and we had a committee that worked on this, and then they had to bring it before our board. They had to vote on these policies. So we spent a lot of time on this, and then we also as the 8 nonprofit organizations, we met monthly with Jennifer Maddox and the United Way folks, and they helped educate us on some of the stuff that we needed to do, and so all of us working together, like we all just worked countless hours on this, and so it was a neat process.
It's a long process, and it can be tedious at times, going through all the paperwork and all the policies and things like that. But for other nonprofits who haven't been through it, you would encourage them to do this, right?
Absolutely. I think it's very important that you get this.
But I think everybody was on different parts of the spectrum. Some learned tremendous amounts of things that they could implement in their organization, and then others refined some things. So I think it was good to see a cross-reference of different organizations involved in it. And we recently did a little bit of renovations in our lobby to spruce things up a little bit for the new year. So we proudly display our certificate as soon as you come in the door, so that everybody knows, hey, we have been through this challenge and accepted it, and in fact achieved it. So we're really proud to have that designation.
Awesome, very good. We need to take another commercial break. We'll do that. Come back to wrap things up in just a moment. So hang out with us here on East Alabama Today. Our final segment of East Alabama today, we've been talking with the YMCA of Calhoun County. And guys, tell us a little more about, we've talked about all the details, but how do you get in touch with you? If I have questions, want to learn more about the Y, want to be a member, how do I get in touch with you guys?
Our Facebook page is pretty robust. We update that a couple times a day, so you can go there, YMCA of Calhoun County on Facebook. Also our website, ymcacalhoun.org, or come by. We'd love to have anybody that wants to stop by to learn more about the Y come and visit us. We are very liberal with our guest passes. We love people to come in and sample the Y at both locations. Just come in and say, hey, I'd like to have a tour and show me what's going on, and let's talk about some options. And we love guests. They're fun to visit and fun to talk to and talk about how they can get involved in the Y.
Absolutely. Well, all right. That sounds very good. Thank you so much, Shane.
Yes, sir. Good to
Welcome
meet you.
to Calhoun County in East Alabama. And Maggie, thank you for being with us today as well. And we thank you for joining us here on East Alabama today. Hope you have a great day. And we'll see you next time.